Welcome to Marriage Is Podcast. I'm your host, Mackenzie Williams. Thank you for tuning in to the very first episode of Marriage Is. I got my brother with me for the very first interview. He's an activist, he's a father, he's a dad. I already said that, but he's a husband, he's a brother, he's a friend. Most of all, he's a man of God. Welcome to the show with me, Ryan Jones. What's going on, Coach? How you doing?
Baby, chilling.
Yeah.
Good. Feel good to be on the show, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Be part of this. To talk about marriage and the ins and outs of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, listen, I ain't got no script. Like I always say, I don't have a script. I don't have questions lined up. We just gonna talk, chop it up, and just talk about the ups and downs of husbandship.
Yeah.
And what it means to be a husband, the things we go through, the pressures that we feel, as husbands, because a lot of times we can tell our wives what we're going through, but only another husband can really feel what you're going through. So before we jump into it, man, just talk to us a little bit about your upbringing, how where you grew up at. Did you grow up with, your dad in the house or a husband in the house to kind of show you how to be a husband? Walk us through your upbringing.
Well, growing up in Chicago, growing up with both parents in the home, back in 1977.
Okay.
So, growing up with both parents, it makes a difference, having both parents in the home. At the end of the day, your mom provides something that your father provides something too. So, like, at the end of the day, mom always brought different things, different perspective, as well as the dad. So, I think having them in the home helped groom me become the husband I am today.
Yeah. So how did having your dad in the house with you impact you and the husband that you are today?
Well, just looking at the interactions, that plays a big part, man. You have some marriages where it can be violence in the home, it can be not loving your spouse, it can be loving your spouse or loving your husband, but just seeing the day-to-day positive interaction between them.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they had arguments, but they found a way to get through them. So a lot of love amongst each other. So yeah. So how long your parents been married, Coach? Well, it's going on now 52 years, I think now. 52 years. That's more than I've been on the earth. So
No, that's a great feat. Congratulations to Mama and Papa Jones, man. We're gonna see y'all in November when we in Mississippi. But no, that's a big feat. People don't really be married for 52 years no more.
52 hours, man. they try to check out.
No, that's good. So you had that foundation from the beginning.
Yeah.
So how long have you and Monica been married?
Well, it'll be 20 years this month.
20 years this month?
Yeah.
What y'all doing for 20 years?
I don't know. We ain't decided yet. We might take it light. Just depends on, what she want to do, depending on the schedule. But at the end of the day, we'll take time to celebrate.
Yeah.
Celebrating in some way, if it's with the kids or without the kids. But, it's another celebration. 20 years, man. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, 20 years is a big deal. And I'm going on 12 in September.
Yeah.
So 20 is a huge deal. But so did you ever think about getting married when you was growing up?
Yeah, I thought about it. I think it's probably like around high school.
Okay.
Just about marriage, and then just having, mom and dad being married, you want to try to align yourself with that. So I always thought about that. I always talked about, I wanted to have 6 or 7 kids,
Ooh.
But as the economy kept, everything got expensive over the years. I was like, no, we got to slow down. I'd rather just have kids come over, hang out. But,
You gotta put that gun in the holster there.
Hey, that's it. Put the bullets away. I'm out of bullets.
So it seems like having that your dad there, man, it shaped who you became, because like we all know you, everybody watching that know Coach Jones as servant Coach Jones.
Yeah.
So did you see your father serving your mother like that growing up, or vice versa, or how did you become this servant leader as Coach Jones that we all know and love?
Well, I've seen both of them serve each other, man. Wasn't nothing for the one to help the other one out. Nowadays you hear as well, I'm just going to feed 50-50. At the end of the day, it's not always going to be 50-50.
Yeah.
It might be 80-20, but their interaction showed that they wanted to serve each other. But the really serving part came from my mom. She's always willing to serve. Somebody calls, somebody need help or need something with something. Never bat an eye. She there to help serve. So I think I just took on that trait.
Yeah.
And to this day, all I know is to serve. You treat me bad, you treat me wrong, I'm still gonna serve you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, that's what's up. So like for me, growing up, man, I ain't think twice about marriage.
Oh,
You know, I grew
okay.
up. My mom been married to my daddy who raised me
Uh-huh.
for 33 years. I'm 36,
Okay.
and so I always seen a married couple in the
Mhm.
house, but I never saw what a husband was really supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is that I always saw my mama be the dominant one,
Yeah.
right? My daddy who raised me, he a white man,
Okay.
and so in that you already know it's cultural differences.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
Uh-huh.
and so being black woman, strong black woman, she gonna make all the decisions. She
Yeah.
gonna do everything. She gonna and that's how I grew up,
Yeah.
seeing everything. You know, and he was just like, all right, cool, we just roll with it. He always rolled with it. I really never seen him even give any kind of resistance, even if he didn't want, agree with the idea.
Mhm.
Never saw him give any resistance
Okay.
to my mama.
Yeah.
And so I kind of just grew up seeing a marriage, but never really a healthy marriage.
Yeah.
You know, if that makes sense. And so, like, for me, my big brother was my role model. And he was one that said, oh, I ain't getting married.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this, whatever. I ain't getting married. I'm gonna be a player, whatever.
Yeah.
But then when I saw him commit and get married and get engaged and all the type of things, I'm like, all right, maybe I can get married too.
Yeah.
You know, but for me, it was kind of obsolete,
Yeah.
because the marriages that I did see, they weren't really healthy marriages.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a man and a woman who've been together for so long, whether they got this or that going on with somebody else or not. That's kind of what I really grew up in. It kind of set me back a little bit in my husband journey,
Yeah.
and I've been having to dig through all the rubble
Yeah. Yeah.
and all the rubbish and kind of pull me a new person out.
Okay.
So what was your experience like outside your household? Did you see, your uncles, aunts, anybody, friends, family, people in the community? Did you see any healthy marriages?
Well, I mean, we'll talk about my uncle. I mean, we'll talk about this. My uncles they ain't never get married. You know, being a nephew and hearing that growing up, I'm like, man, these jokers ain't even married to this day. So they stuck to their word.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my mom and dad, being married, setting a positive example. But also they having friends, if it's at church or gatherings and different things like that. I always seen both sides of it, and I think I took on that idea of just being positive, man. Because at the end of the day, as you grow up, you know the difference between negative and positive. But just seeing positive couples help each other, be there for one another, go hide disagreements, but also work through that stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't see the other side of it, where the police may be called in our neighborhood
Yeah.
because the man jumped on a woman or whatever it may be. But like at the end of the day, you setting the stage right there. Do you want to be part of that, or you want to go a different route? So I always found myself being in the midst of that stuff, but also finding a different route other than that normal route.
Yeah.
That was set.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about, like, from you almost 20 years in this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The first few years of marriage, right? Walk me through your mindset of first years of marriage to your mindset now, being 19, 20 years in. What was the
Okay.
difference?
Well, I'm gonna put it out. I was a mama's boy.
Yeah.
Hey, my mama didn't want to let me go. At the end of the day, it was almost like, if we was going through something, if I call my mom, she gonna agree with me.
Yeah.
As time went on, I, as a man, talked through those situations with my wife and different things like that. So just, at the end of the day, you got to share your space. You got to allow your wife to be part of stuff as well. She got to allow me to be part of stuff. So like, we got to talk through different things, getting to know each other. I mean, that's kind of tough, man. You starting to live with somebody, things like that. You taking over their space. They don't like this, you don't like this. But as time go on, you kind of figure out what's important in the whole thing,
So that's your mindset now, year 1920. I know, like, the first few years, mama's boy. Mama didn't want to let you go.
Yeah.
You had to kind of. Did you ever stand up to your mama and be like, "Hey, mom, this my wife. I'm with her. You gonna have to just kind of chill." You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I really never verbally told her, but my actions spoke loud that she understood. Like, hey, this is my wife. I mean, mom, I love you, but it's another woman that's, not taking your place. But hey, as I saw you and daddy grow up, now is the point me and MJ.
Yeah.
How our thing going. So like, I think it's more she watching how I react and things like that. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's a little bit different with me. I was
yeah.
a mama's boy.
Yeah.
I was a mama's boy, and you know, it took me a while to stand up to my mama. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, and that did drive a wedge in between me and my wife to a certain extent. Like, she like, hey, listen, you got my back or what?
Yeah.
You know, and you never want your wife to question if you got her back or not. You know what I'm saying? And so I was kind of playing both sides of the fence because I wanted everybody to be good.
Yeah.
I wanted to be peacemaker, and I wanted to make everybody happy. But what I came to realize is that, man, even if you can't make everybody happy, you better make your wife happy.
All day.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, make your wife happy. So I really had to just tell my mama, like, hey, listen, this is my wife.
Okay.
You gonna have to chill out. Like, hey, you say you believe in Jesus, you're a Christian woman, you believe in Christ. What the Bible say?
Yeah.
You know, a man gotta leave his mama and his daddy. And I'm paraphrasing, I ain't speaking in Bible terms, but a man gotta leave his mama and his daddy and cleave to his wife. You know, the Bible say two shall become one. And nah, mama, it ain't me and you becoming one.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I had to really, I ain't gonna lie, it was tough for me.
Yeah.
Cause all I know was my mama, man, my mama gonna make it happen for me. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to really tell her, like, listen, nah, this is my wife. We gonna raise these kids how we wanna raise these kids. You raise me, let me raise mine. And if I need your input, I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Other than that, let me do my thing, let my wife do her thing. I don't need you coming at her or coming at me, because this how you did it with us.
Yeah. And I think what helped me too along those lines, not staying in the town or in the city where my mom at. We moved, man, we lived in Indiana, Kansas, in different places. So it was like now Florida, so like that distance, you kind of got to create some other stuff. I mean, being away from your family, but you know, I think being away, you know, not depending on my mom at times, especially in those early years, but I think being away was great.
That's important. That's important. And I believe, man, honestly, just speaking transparently, I think that's why God told me to move away from my hometown. To save my marriage. Because, you know, the Lord knew what he was doing when he said, leave your mama and your daddy and cleave to your wife, right? He knew what he was doing, because he knew that the mamas, boy, the mamas can be a little overbearing, which ain't a bad thing, but they gotta know how to let go at the same time. Like you said, it ain't like you she taking your place. Nah, but you raised me to be a man. So let me go ahead and do what men do and get married and be a husband and do all the things.
Yeah, and I just think about today with our kids, you know, having 3 kids. I'm sure one maybe 3 out of 3 get married, you know, we'll see. But I think in the day, your wife will have to understand that at some point too. So like, you know, if it ever come back to that day, we still talking about those situation. Hey, babe, you remember? Hey, we sit there and talk about it now. I didn't let my mama go now. You can let these boys let you go. So like,
So it seems like in year 19, going into year 20, you realize that sometimes you just gotta let go.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta pick your battles. I mean, at the end of the day, you pick certain battles, it's gonna start some arguments or whatever, but you gotta look at the whole picture. At the end of the day, it's not gonna be perfect every day, but like I said, pick your battles, man. It's not even worth it. It's wasted energy.
Man.
You know, like they say, happy life, happy wife. I mean, hey, we try to keep MJ happy at the crib. everybody else is gonna line up. It ain't, but you know, you're going on year 20, it's easy now. You know, at the end of the day, it almost, I know, can dictate what she finna do, what she finna say, anything like that. She probably do the same thing with me after 20 years, so.
Nah, that's good, because sometimes though, when you in 20 years, you don't even know who the other person is.
True.
You know, so that's good that you know what she gonna do or say, and vice versa, because a lot of times, man, you know, some people get married, they be married 20, 30 years, and then when the kids get out the house, they go their separate ways. You know, because they put everything into the kids instead of each other. And so I think that's important, where you have to know your spouse. You have to get to know them, because if you don't, when them kids leave, you be like, who did I marry? You know, I don't even know this person. And either you're gonna get to know them, or you're gonna be like, I don't even want to be around you, and then we're gonna leave. You know, so I think it's important to get to know, you know, your spouse. And I even ordered some cards that just got questions on it. You know, hey, you know, what's your goals? You know, what do you see this? How do you see that? So that way we can get to know each other a little bit more. But I always encourage spending time with each other. That's the best way you're gonna get to know your spouse. You know what I'm saying? Spending time and just kind of picking the brain, you know what I'm saying, being around them, because in a relationship, you get to know people how you know, by spending time with them.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember them days, man, me and Shawana, we've been together since we were 15.
Yeah.
I'm 36.
Okay.
And so, I remember them mornings, them nights, going to sleep on the phone. We sleep, you know.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, hey, you hang up first. No, you hang up first. You know,
I ain't sleep. I'm still up. Okay, what I just say there?
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
so I think remembering those days and remembering like, man, this is why I fell in love with this woman. You know, that's important. That's
Yeah.
important, because we can sometimes lose that, and we can sometimes focus on what she ain't doing
Mm-hmm.
instead of thinking about the times, you know, the things that she is doing and seeing the good in it, as opposed to seeing all the bad in it.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on just the communication piece? I know you big on communication. Well, talk to us a little bit about how you communicate and what's your angle or your go-to for communication, because a lot of us that grow up without father figures or people who we may have had a father but never taught us how to communicate. And I know you grew up with your pops in the house. But talk to us a little bit about, your go-tos for communication, the things that you kind of do.
Well, communication was tough in the beginning, because at the end of the day, even though my parents, they was married, they didn't really communicate.
Yeah.
So I think that piece Monica helped me with that. Just communicate, tell me what you're thinking, what's on your mind, because I just kind of grew up too. You kept stuff to yourself and figured it out, and then communicate. But she helped me with that piece about communicating, because if you don't communicate, like it didn't happen or it happened, whatever it may be. But I think it's important to communicate.
Yeah.
And communication can come talking about certain situations, saying I love you. That's big. Growing up in my family, saying I love you, a hug or whatever it may be. But also your actions.
Mm-hmm.
Your actions can speak loud too.
Absolutely.
So I think over time that has grown. At the end of the day, I think you can always get better at communication. Because being 20 years in, you can be like, okay, it's cool, but it may not be.
Yeah.
You can't assume nothing.
Yeah.
Like she cool, but you gotta communicate. You gotta open your mouth. Express yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So I know you said at first you wasn't a communicator. So talk to me a little bit about some of the struggles that you had in communicating that Monica helped you overcome.
Well, if I was going through something, I ain't finna tell you, because I was at a point like, I'm gonna deal with this. I don't need to tell nobody else.
Yeah.
But understanding this is my spouse. If something happened, she gonna be right there. So why not allow her to know what's going on and things like that? So as time went on, that started to grow too. So like just opening up about everything and what's going on. And think about with us as males in general, it's hard for us to communicate our feelings too. We don't want to put that burden on our wife, but over time, I see my wife how strong she is, how she feel about me, and how she feel about my mental health, my health, and my well-being. So it was easy to just communicate. Especially when it comes to your health. Sometimes we don't like going to the doctor, man, but as your wife, she stand on that and trying to help you with that, and it becomes easier.
Yeah. So in that, what you feeling like, oh, I'm a man, I don't want to communicate, I'm too tough, I'm hard, I don't need to tell you my feelings. Was it that, or was it just pride?
I think it could be, I think it's more of a pride. Like, I ain't finna tell you, and then you feel sad about something, or you feel some type of way or something. I think it's more pride. I think once you let that go, the embarrassment and all that other stuff, it plays out, man. You just gotta understand, bite the bullet and communicate.
Pride a big one, man.
Oh yeah.
Pride a big one, especially for me. Like pride is still a big thing for me that I have to fight with every day. And I think most men, husbands in general, have to fight with pride. And if you don't have to fight with pride, hey, more power to you, my brother, because pride is something that definitely is in us just from being men, right? Like and I'm not saying certain types of pride is good, right? Certain types of pride is good, but the type of pride I'm talking about ain't good. The Bible says pride comes before the fall. Right? Pride comes before destruction in another translation, but we have to understand that we got to put our pride to the side and kind of crucify it every day. And that's what I've been dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Just putting that pride down as a husband, because I'm supposed to serve my wife. You know what I'm saying? And it's easy to just pick that pride ball up. Be like, nah, you serve me. You the woman.
But that was one of the things, back in the day, you got to go fix his plate and all that. MJ wasn't having that. Like they fix it, but I think it becomes a point of like different roles and different things like that. And that doesn't bother me. That's the other thing though. Don't get caught up in these roles and these stereotypes about certain stuff. You married to to your wife. Y'all got to curate y'all own things that work for you guys. You know, back in the day, that stuff worked for my mom and dad maybe, but you know, you get a point, get to know each other, what works and what don't work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Those roles, man. Hey, listen.
Yeah.
I ain't on the roles type thing.
Yeah.
You know where you gotta go cook, you gotta go do this. Listen, we in this together. We gonna figure it out what worked for us.
Yeah.
You know, that's what every married couple have got to do. Got to figure out what worked for them, because what worked for you might not work for me.
Yeah.
You know, but what worked for somebody else, you know, it's just figuring out your dynamic. That's what it's figuring out.
That's the point of dynamic. Because at the end of the day, I'm cool with washing dishes, washing the clothes, anything like that. I'm not too good in the kitchen. She probably don't want me to go in the kitchen and cook, but I will cook. You know, but at the end of the day, just whatever you can do to help one another out. This can be a time where I might get home early. It might be some stuff that need to be done. Why wait till she get home to do it and I can do it, kill some time and keep it moving, man. So
That's my biggest thing, man. Just helping out.
Yeah.
Taking stuff off of her plate instead of putting things on her plate. And early on in my marriage, boy, I put the whole load on her plate.
Oh, seconds, huh?
She had force on. She had force.
Yeah.
But as I'm growing as a husband, and I'm starting to really take it like to heart, to try to be a good husband, to try to be better as a husband. I think for me, I'm finding myself every day now, like, how can I serve my wife? You know, and if I see her doing something, hey, how can I help? How can I do this? How can I do that? Nah, because I'm not a server by nature.
Yeah.
I ain't a server by nature. So I know some people might be like, why you gotta ask? Why you can't just see it? Why you can't do it?
Yeah.
That's not me. That's not me, who I am. So now I have to just ask. And in me asking, as I continue to ask, then I can stop asking because I start to know.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of baby steps, but I want to speed this process up. Because I want to be the best husband I can be for my wife, because she's a good woman. You know what I'm saying? She's a good wife to me. She's a good mother to my kids. She's my favorite person, man. You know, she's my favorite person in the world. And so I want to make sure that she feel like that. You know, because it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to show it.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know, and so that's kind of how I feel about that. But I know when we get married, man, it's a lot of pressure on us as husbands.
Yeah.
To just be whatever, right? To be the provider we supposed to be, to be the protector that we supposed to be, and whatever we put in our minds, that whatever else we supposed to be. So did you have kind of those thoughts, or did you feel the pressures early on that you don't feel now, or do you feel different pressures now that you're 20 years in, as opposed to, you know, being 2 years in or 3 years in?
Yeah, I mean, I think you feel the pressure, especially being early, getting married when you're around your boys, living in the same neighborhood and different things like that around them. Like, man, going home to her, man, you ain't staying out with us. But I think at the end of the day, I learned that at an early age, like, that's my wife. At the end of the day, you dudes gonna be around, y'all gonna be gone. So I think understanding those kind of pressure, but understand, like, continue to build as a man too. I mean, she married me for a reason, to try to understand how to continue to raise the bar when it comes to that, you know, and having kids. You know, I pride myself on being a great husband, also a great father too. You know, serving them in both ways when they come to that. But I think at the end of the day, just allowing, once you get to know the person, your wife, and then she get to know you, some of that pressure starts to just go away, man. You ain't pressured by those things no more.
Yeah, because you start to see what really mattered to her. And you be like, what I thought mattered to her, and I put the pressure on myself. She don't even care about it.
That's when they come to gifts. Like, you know, you have a lot of couples feel like I gotta go spend $1,000 for their birthday for your wife. At the end of the day, it's coming out of our account. Y'all get the same account. Like, I mean, but we understood that, like, buying stuff, it can be small stuff. It don't have to always be big things. Because sometimes, certain couples may be like, well, I got you this last year, and they trying to up each other and go like, we ain't winning like that. So I think it's just knowing your spouse and knowing what's important, you know. Like, at the end of the day, gifts to us are not really important. We might do certain things here and there, but at the end of the day, we don't get caught up in the materialistic stuff.
Yeah, no, that's good, because Because if you get caught up in that materialistic stuff, you can go broke quick.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
can go
We
broke.
both broke in, especially we got the same account, you know.
Yeah. Now you talk about the same account. Some married couples don't even have the same account.
Yeah.
What's your thought on that?
Man, my thing is like this. I mean, I think you should have the same account. I think sometimes you got a second account, maybe you ain't all in. You might have 1 foot out, like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe it's you don't really trust, I think, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna trust you 5 years, see what we're gonna do. You might be served by saving up, trying to get up out of that. You know what I'm saying? But I think, me personally, I think having the same account is cool, as long as you guys communicate, understand what's important, you know, what should be bought here and what should be bought later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
That's a part of accountability too.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, when you share that bank account, it's trust.
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot of things because
Uh-huh.
the Bible say where your treasure is, that also is where your heart
Mhm.
is. So wherever you put your money, that's where your heart at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're
So
right.
you can tell a lot about a person by where they put their money to
Mhm.
know what they're interested in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that definitely go into like the trust factor. Because if I share my account with my spouse, my wife, my husband, whoever, you know, whatever it is, hey, we got the same money.
Yeah.
I can see where it's going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got that side account, you might be trying to hide something. You
Mhm.
trying to hide some money, what else you trying to hide?
That's it. Hey.
What else you trying to hide? So that was a big one for us because my wife came to me and was like, hey, listen, we need to start a shared bank account.
Uh-huh.
Because that's the next step in me trusting you
Uh-huh.
and me putting my trust in you.
Yeah.
You know, not like she putting her trust in God, but if you're married, you gotta trust your spouse, right? Your wife gotta trust you.
Yeah.
You gotta trust her. And so she was like, you know, it's basically a step, a leap of faith for her.
Okay.
Because, you know, I will say, like, I didn't really give her a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? I didn't give her a lot of reason
Okay.
to trust me early on,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and so I can't be mad at that, but when she came to me and said that, I think that changed a lot for us
Yeah.
as far as trust and as far as taking our relationship to the next level, even though we was married,
Yeah.
right? You can still take your relationship to the next level if
All
you're
day.
married.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's a big one is sharing that bank account with that one. But man, one thing that I found is that early on with me,
Yeah.
my view of being a husband was totally different than what she needed me to be
Ooh-wee.
as
Yeah.
a husband.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so in my head, because I didn't have that visual in the
Mhm.
house with me or around me,
Yeah.
man, I just conjured up what I thought was
Yeah.
a husband was supposed to do by watching TV, you know, and just society
Yeah.
telling me what a husband was. And so I thought, hey, as long as I'm going to work,
Uh-huh.
I ain't beating her,
Yeah.
I ain't berating her, I ain't verbally abusing her. I'm a good husband.
Yeah.
So I'm straight.
Yeah.
Nah, that ain't
Yeah.
that ain't really what it was though. And nobody ever told me about emotional support. Nobody told me about intimacy.
Yeah.
Nobody told me about these different things that I have to do. Being a listener, right? Being a
Mhm.
sounding board to my wife. She
Yeah.
might come home and, you know, what's on her mind, she gotta let me know. It
Yeah.
ain't for me to try and correct it or find a solution. It's just she want me to listen.
Yeah.
You know, and I still, you know, have a little bit of trouble, but I'm doing a lot better than I was, man, with
Yeah.
listening and just saying, like, sometimes I might say, do you want to answer or you just want me to listen?
That's a good question.
You know, so early on for me, it was being the husband that I thought I needed to be, but it really wasn't the husband that she needed me to be. So did you find that, you know, growing up and with you and Monica, was it like you had this perception of what a husband was, but she needed this type of husband?
Oh yeah, I think going back, you know, just being married, you just think a certain way as a man. But I think with her, it was more with me. It was like intimacy. I didn't really know what it was. I didn't see my mom them hug a lot and do a thing, you know, things like that. So like down the road, that's the stuff that she wanted. I have to learn that.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, if you don't see it, even though my parents married for years, if you don't see certain stuff, it become normal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so she had to help me with those different things. And then sometimes, you know, people just think sex. That's
Yeah.
going, but find out it ain't all about that. You know,
Yeah.
it's other stuff, the intimacy part, you know, listening.
Yeah.
You know, at the beginning of our marriage, I didn't listen a lot, but now I'm took the approach, start listening a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so then I can. Sometimes I used to cut her off and try to answer that before she done, but she ain't like that. So at the end of the day, but learning that, just sit there and listen, because everybody want to be heard.
Yeah. That's
You
a
know,
big
so that was a couple of big ones for me. But I think the big one is listening.
Yeah.
You know, even in, you know, if she have a good or a bad day at work or whatever it may be, coming home, you know, expressing herself, telling her how day went and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And also intimacy was a big one for me because, like you said,
Yeah.
when we say that word intimacy, all I think about is sex.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so for me, it's like, hey, let's do it. Let's get to it.
Nike. Yeah.
Let's get to it. But that's not what it's all about. Like you said,
Mhm.
you know, intimacy makes it better
Yeah.
because intimacy is the little things, like you said, hugging,
Mm-hmm.
just talking, listening.
Yeah.
You know, the little nuances that you can do
Mm-hmm.
to even make your wife want you,
Yeah.
right? Because you want your spouse to want you.
Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely.
You know, you want her to
Yeah.
want you, and so I think that intimacy piece is key. So, what's some of the things that you know that you do to be intimate with your wife outside of sex?
Yeah. It can be a good text message throughout the day. You know, just checking in with her and different things. It could be a phone call, or it could be leaving little things behind, like little sticky notes,
Yeah,
or knowing that she got to go to work the next day. Maybe try to make her a snack bag or something like that. So the little things like that, I think, goes a long way. I mean, it's not nothing big, but in her eyes, they can be super big.
yeah,
Those little things like that. So things like that.
yeah. The little things, man. I think we like to we as men, we're big picture people,
Yeah.
right? And so like we like to see things on a grandiose scale,
Mhm.
and it's like, nah, it's really the little things. And that's what my wife tells me a lot.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, nah, it's just the little things that you can do. You know, it ain't even gotta be no big stuff. It's just small things. You know what I'm saying? Clean the bathroom.
Yeah.
You know, clean the kitchen.
Mhm.
You know, all that type of stuff. If you see, you know, wash the clothes.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. You know, so it's all those little things. And then like what we have is we try and take some time out of our day every night
Mhm.
and just talk for about 25, 30 minutes before we go to sleep.
Okay.
You know, we're trying to just catch up on the day. How your day? How was your day? How was this? How was that? You know, and then that's what we kind of try and do to decompress.
Yeah.
You know, and kind of catch up with each other. But that intimacy piece was man. Boy, let me tell you, it took a lot to learn it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
took a lot to learn
Gotta
it.
be willing to learn it.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. You gotta be willing to learn it, but it's good.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
good. So, what's some advice that you would give, you know, your younger self, younger Ryan Jones, and you got a younger Ryan Jones, your son,
Yeah.
RJ.
Yeah.
You know, what's some advice that because he essentially is a younger you.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's probably a lot more mature at
Yeah.
his age than you was
Oh, all day.
at that age. But what's some advice that you give him? Because you know, I know RJ looking for a wife, and you know he may have think he found his wife. So
Yeah.
what's some advice that you give to him that can keep him from bumping his head early on in the ways that you bumped your head?
Keep the Lord first.
Mm.
At the end of the day, I mean, I didn't know the Lord at the time. He's his age now, so I think seeing his walk with God, just keeping the Lord first. You know, being honest about everything, not sugarcoating anything, being a good listener too. You know, and walk the walk. I mean, if you say you're gonna do something, make sure you follow through, and make sure you do it. You know, I think the other thing is providing good examples all the time. Like I said before, communicating. That's the big piece. Starting off communicating. You know, asking, do you like this? Or do you like that? Whatever it may be. So try to learn each other pretty quickly early in those relationships to see if you really want to be with each other.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, definitely for sure. I think my advice to my younger self
Mm-hmm.
would just be serve your wife.
Yeah.
Lay your life down for her.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably be mine because it took me a long while,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
a long while to really grasp the importance
Mm-hmm.
of laying your life down for your wife because she needs to know that you got her back. So I think that would be my piece. It's just and communicate.
Yeah.
Communicate. No matter what, no matter how you think she gonna feel about it.
Yeah.
You gotta talk to her. You gotta tell her what's going on your mind, what all these different things because she can help you.
Yeah.
She can help you. Women process things a lot differently than we process things.
All day.
And so that can be, the women, man, they analyze. And you know, we might say something, we see it this way. She say something, and now it's like, oh, I didn't even see it that way.
Yeah.
You're right. We can, you know, that can be better.
Yeah.
That can be better. So I think that's a big piece in itself. It's just that communication piece. But how is it, you know, I know you have a daughter, 2 sons.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Or is there a difference in the way that you talk to your daughter about finding a husband as opposed to talking to your sons about being husbands?
Well, I think with my daughter, she the oldest, so like, I think the track coach told me one day, she was in high school, that she had a boy talking to her. So I went to the school, lunch break, put my hands around the guy, you know. It was the day I'm trying to introduce myself. I think it embarrassed her.
Hold on, what you say? Hold on, coach. I ain't gonna cut y'all. Let me cut y'all down. But when you say you put your hands around, and what you mean?
No, I just gave him a hug.
Oh, okay. Just
I
kinda gave him one of them.
I ain't trying to hurt him or nothing.
That's
Just let him know that, you know, at the end of the day, that's my daughter, man.
Yeah.
You know, but with that, it's just always with her, it's all about, I think she watches me, and most of the time, your daughter's looking for a man or a young man just like you.
Yep.
So that's why it's an important way I model things, you know, in the home and things like that. So like to this day, from what I know, she dated a little bit, but she's not dating right now. She's kind of locked in on her career right now, you know, and doing her thing. But I'm proud. At the end of the day, things can go left, it can go right, but she's standing on what she needs to do. And like I tell her, at the end of the day, that man will come at some point.
Yeah.
You know, with the boys, it's just more, you know, they see the interaction with with that mom and stuff like that. There's always telling respect whoever you with, be friends, you know, kind of communicate to whoever it may be. But I think it's important about respect, though.
Yep.
You gotta respect women regardless of whatever it may be. And at the end of the day, those things that's for you will come.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, no, that's good, Coach. You had me right there for a minute. I thought you had put your hands
No,
around
I
somebody,
didn't.
somebody's neck, man, trying to
No, I just put my hand around, introduce myself.
just let them know you there.
Yeah, I'm there. Because at the end of the day, they need to know me. I grew up, I mean, I'm sure you got stories about, we didn't always treat young girls and girls good because we didn't know no better. But at the end of the day, when you have a daughter, well, that light switch come on. Oh, man, I hope hopefully she don't have to go through without, you know, whatever it may be. But yeah, just a sense when you get a daughter, it hit a little different.
It do hit a little different,
Yeah,
man.
because you want whoever she come in contact with or who she married to treat her like she's golden, you know?
Straight up. Nah, that is good because I got my oldest 2, and I got 3 boys. But man, I do treat them differently.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And my wife like to say, oh, you know, Riley, your favorite. Nah, she ain't my favorite.
Yeah.
It just, I treat her different, and I love her different than I love my boys.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same love, but it's a different love, right? Because you can't love them the same because they're different. But my baby, listen, that's my baby.
Yeah.
You know, she made me a daddy first. And so with her, I'm like, hey, you need to stay the same age for the rest of your life.
Good luck
My
with
boys, my boys, you can grow up, go ahead.
Yeah.
But I'm mentally preparing my mind for her to grow up. You know, she about to be 11 years old, man. And she about to hit middle school next year. So it's tough because I'm preparing my mind for it, you know. But I think I'm setting a good example for her to know what she want when she get older.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And my wife do a great job of setting an example for her to be a wife to somebody, right? Because a lot of these people getting married, a lot of these women getting married, they want to be a wife, but they don't know how to be a wife.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's okay, you know. And a lot of dudes that's getting married want to be a husband, but don't know how to be a husband. That was me, right? I ain't know how to be a husband, but we growing through it together, right? And I'll be the first one to say, man, my wife is a much better wife than I am a husband. You know, but I'm trying to get there.
Oh yeah, you gotta keep climbing that ladder, baby.
I'm trying to get there, man, but nah, like we gotta be ready for, you know how they say happily ever after. We gotta be ready for ever after.
Yeah.
And I think we don't talk about the ever after.
No.
How we talk about the happily.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Now,
the now, because a lot of people looking to that wedding day.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be this.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be that. But what's some of the things that you can come to find out about marriage where you like, oh, I thought it was gonna be this way, but it's really a different way.
Well, just like, getting married. I mean, I had this whole vision of having like 7 and 7, 7 grooms and 7 bridesmaids,
Yeah.
the whole shebang. But them numbers kept going up. We ain't even talking about the venue.
Yeah.
So like, just knowing how much money that people put into a marriage and don't even sustain that marriage for years or whatever it may be. Like, we went to the courthouse and got married. And I think that's one of the greatest things we could ever did. Because at the end of the day, unless you got it, you got it. But at the end of the day, why go broke before you get married?
Yeah.
So like I think that was a big step to understand, if we gonna get married, that's why I go back to the gift thing. Like, when you understand your spouse and what she about, she know what you about, some of those materialistic stuff don't get caught up. I mean, we have seen couples over the years that we know getting married.
Yeah.
Paying about $20,000 to $30,000 on a wedding.
Yeah.
They ain't even together 10 years.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So having those examples, understand what's important.
Right.
You
Coach,
know?
you just dropped the ball right there. I hope y'all picked up on it. Coach said, "Why go broke before you get married?"
Why?
That's a
Yeah.
ball right there. That's true.
Yeah.
Because if you can just go, if you got, like you said, if you got it,
Yeah.
cool, do your thing. But if you ain't got it, then why you gonna go broke?
Yeah.
Go down to the courthouse. Hey, make it happen. Because at the end of the day, all that matters is you and her.
Yes,
That's
indeed,
all that
yeah.
matters. You and her, the only things that matter. And spending money don't equate to love.
Oh, not at all. I think we get caught up into what other people think. And that's another thing. You go, I think early in your marriage, you tend, I don't know if I can speak for everybody, but you tend to worry about what other people say.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with us, I went through a little spell. It's worrying about, but when you get to that point to understand, it don't matter what the outside noise is. That's your wife. You do what you gotta do. She do what she gotta do. We gonna make this happen.
Yeah.
Because the outside noise is just outside noise, like anything else.
Yeah.
You
For sure. Now, and listening to you talk about, your parents and how you've been married almost 20 years now, I reflect on the old school way, the old school people getting married, right?
Uh-huh.
Because they had that mindset where we're gonna get married, we're gonna be together forever.
Yeah.
And I know we touched on it a little bit at the beginning of the conversation, but man, like, why do you think it's now it's just like people just let it go? They married for 2 months or 3 months, or they married for 15 years, and then they just say, all right, let's just go our separate ways. What do you think contributes to that?
I think it's not really knowing what you really want.
Mm-hmm.
There's no fight there. At the end of the day, you got to fight for what you want in life.
Come on.
And marriage is probably one of the number one things outside of your kids that you got to fight for.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to, some things may not go right. Are you willing to fight for it? You going to let it go? But I think it's just not enough fight. It's more fighting planning that wedding than fighting for your marriage.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? You fighting over, we're going to have it at this venue, have it at that. Then you get in an argument at home. You ain't trying to fight to try to ease that out before y'all go to bed. So, like, I think it's all about the fight. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You fighting for the
what you
do
fighting
more
for.
fighting for the wedding than you do the marriage. That's go dropping gems. He dropping the balls today. Hey, no, that's real though. You do more fighting for the wedding than you do for the marriage.
Yeah, and
that's
that's big today.
That's real talk right there. Because you're right though. You're right, and I think the perfect word is fight.
Yeah.
That's the perfect word, because if you don't fight,
Uh-huh.
you will lose.
Oh yeah.
You will lose. And my pastor, he always told me, you'll win if you don't quit.
Yeah.
He always said that. You'll win if you don't quit.
Yeah.
It might feel like you're losing at this moment because y'all going through some things.
Yeah.
But you'll win if you don't quit. Right? And so you have to, and he also told me you gotta fight to reconcile, not fight to be right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because a lot of us want to be right when we arguing, when we got a problem. We want to be right. So it's like, hey, yeah, I told you.
Yeah.
No, it ain't about that. It's about, because a lot of times I done held my tongue. I done almost bit this tongue off because I'm like, oh, I know I'm right. Because 95% of the time my wife right. I ain't even going.
Hey, I agree with that too. I mean, I'm all out playing games that time. Like in the beginning of the match, I'm like, telling, trying to tell her. Then later down the road, I said, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. You know what I'm saying? But it happens. But when you get to know your spouse and different things like that, I mean, you can joke around, do different things like that.
You can, and And like I said, man, a lot of times my wife is right, and I've come to the realization of
Yeah.
it don't even matter if I'm right or not.
No.
You know, I could listen. I've apologized for things
Uh-huh.
that I'm like, I know I don't need to be apologizing for, but that's a part of laying your life down for your wife,
Yeah.
right? That's a part of being a leader for your house.
Yeah.
And I ain't trying to toot my own horn and say
Yeah.
that I'm the best husband, but I can tell you one thing: I'm a husband that's gonna always fight.
Oh yeah.
I can tell you that. You know what I'm saying? And so you gotta fight for your marriage. You have to. And even if your wife don't want to, even if she done, you still
Yeah.
gotta fight.
You got to.
You still gotta fight because you never know when she's going to, when her heart is gonna change.
Yeah.
Right? Because I've been there.
Mhm.
I've been on the verge of divorce.
Mhm.
But I told her, that's the exact word I used, Coach. I said, I'm gonna fight for you because you're worth fighting for. She
Mhm.
told me I wasted my time.
Hey, I'm glad you kept fighting. You know, we right here now.
Yeah, we here now.
Yeah,
you know what
so-
I'm saying? She was like, you wasting your time because I don't want this no more.
Yeah.
You know, and I couldn't have been mad if she would have left because it was all on me.
Yeah.
I messed up. I did everything wrong to push her away.
Yeah.
I did that, and I'm a man enough to say it was my fault. And I told her I can't even be mad at you if you leave.
Mhm.
Can't. But I would love it if you stayed.
Ready to fight,
I
baby.
love it if you stayed, and so I'm
Yeah.
fighting. Man, I'm fighting every day. I'm fighting every day. I'm fighting not only for her. I'm fighting against myself,
Yeah.
right? Because I live in a fleshly body, and I
Mhm.
want everything my way.
Yeah.
But that ain't how marriage works.
No.
That ain't how marriage works. And so now, so I got a segment on the pod, Coach. I know this is the very first episode. It's a segment on the pod where I say a phrase, and I want you to fill in the blank.
Mhm.
All right, fill in the blank on this phrase.
Okay.
Marriage is.
It's a life commitment.
Mm.
Marriage is a life commitment.
Ooh.
If you're willing to go that route, it's a full-time commitment. It's like a job. You might have to do that. Go do an annual. Like, man, with my marriage, like, let me go back over the last year. What did I do? What did I didn't do? So I think it's more. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's a lifetime commitment.
That's a word.
Yeah, it's
That's
a lifetime commitment. Because why I say that, because I didn't see people over the years, not to really talk about death, but like when you have married couples that stood it out, they've been married for like 60, 70 years. When that spouse died, it's like they die with it.
Yeah.
It's just not long before they do, and some last longer than others. But I think that's true love. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't lost my partner
Yeah.
that I rode years with, and now they got put out the car, and I'm still trying to drive. It's like, hey,
now just take me too.
take me too.
Take me too.
Don't let it hurt. Take me though. Well, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a word right there.
Yeah,
Commitment,
man.
Coach. That's a lot of things that's a word right there that a lot of men don't want.
Hey,
They don't wanna live up to it.
yeah.
A lot of men don't. A lot of women don't either. But guess what? This marriage is for husbands.
Yeah.
This is the podcast for husbands, and we're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
hold husbands accountable on
Mhm.
this podcast.
Yeah.
And we can talk all we want to about the women and what they do, but the
Uh-huh.
man is the head of the house.
Yeah.
That's how the Lord designed it, right? We the heads of the house. So I'm gonna hold us accountable. And I know in the comments it might be, oh, you always going at the husbands. You going,
Yeah.
yeah, because we are called to a higher status. We are called to a higher place. And so I'm gonna hold us accountable, a much higher standard than I will the wives, because we shape everything that goes on in our marriage.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to us. And so we have to make that commitment. Like you said,
Yeah.
Coach, we got to make the commitment to say, I'm going to love my wife no matter what.
Yeah.
We got to make that commitment to say, I'm going to die to myself no matter what.
Mhm.
We got to make the commitment to say, I'm going to be the leader of my family no matter what.
Yeah.
We got to make the commitment to say, I'm going to be the head of my house.
Mm-hmm.
And this how it's going to work. And if we don't, and if we give that responsibility to our wives, then that's on us.
Yeah.
And I can say that because at one point I had given that responsibility to my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I took it back from her when I realized that. I didn't even realize I had gave her my responsibility. Until we sat down and had a real talk one day.
Yeah.
And I realized that I had given it to her. But we cannot give our responsibility to our wife because they got their own responsibility to your wife.
One day. Yeah.
You know, so I'm gonna hold the husbands accountable on this podcast. If you don't like it, go to another podcast.
Oh yeah.
We're going to hold each other accountable as men and as husbands. But that word commitment is big. And I'll take it a step further. Covenant.
Yeah.
It's a covenant. You know, a lot of people like say, oh, marriage is a piece of paper. No, marriage is a covenant.
Yeah.
Right? That you make with your spouse.
Mhm.
That's what that is. And if you think about the covenants that God made with his people,
Mhm.
right? When a covenant happens in the Bible, historically, blood got to be shed. Blood got to be shed, right? So when he made his covenant with Abraham, he had to go sacrifice an animal. Blood had to be shed. When he made his covenant through Jesus to us, Jesus had to shed his blood because there was a new covenant and it bridged us back together to God. And so I say that to say this. Think about how marriage was supposed to be designed, how God created marriage. You're supposed to have one man and one woman who are both virgins.
Mhm.
And when you have sex with a virgin, what happens? She bleeds.
Mhm.
Why? Because you are in a covenant
Yeah.
with that woman. And that's how marriage was supposed to be. You know, now we have perverted it and want to have sex with everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Instead of marrying them. But that's how it was originally designed.
Yeah.
For us to be in covenant with one woman, one man, joined together.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's how I think about it now. And I'm like, man, I wish I'd have waited.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have waited. You know, it could have saved me a whole lot of heartache.
Oh, yeah,
A whole lot
yeah.
of headache.
Yes, indeed.
But no, you heard Coach, man. Hey, marriage is commitment.
Yeah, commitment.
That's it, and you gotta fight for it.
Yeah.
You gotta fight for it. But I want to end the pod, Coach, with a scripture.
Okay.
Cause I live by this word, man. I live by this word. I'm coming from the Tree of Life Bible,
Mhm.
and I want to end the pod coming from Ephesians 5.
Okay.
All right, Ephesians 5, starting at verse 21. And we could just talk a little bit about it before we hop off. But it says this: also submit, and this is about marriage.
Uh-huh.
Also submit yourselves to one another out of reverence for Messiah. Wives, to your own husbands as to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Messiah is also head of his community, himself the Savior of the body. But as Messiah's community is submitted to Messiah, so also the wife to her husband in everything. Right? Wives, submit to your husband. That's what it said. Right? Now I know a lot of women got a problem with that word submit.
Yeah.
But see, men, if we give our wives a husband to submit to, they'll be more likely to submit to it.
All day. You just can't expect it if you ain't doing nothing to align it.
Right? Absolutely.
You know, can't get upset about it.
Nope, you can't get upset. And don't be using this word to try to manipulate your wife.
Yeah.
Oh, you see what he said, you see what the
Yeah.
workers say? Oh, submit. But if you ain't being a husband that she can submit to, you can't expect her to submit. Alright, now 25 is for us.
Okay.
Husbands, love your wives, just as Messiah also loved his community and gave himself up for her, to make her holy, having cleansed her by immersion in the word. Right? So now that just tells us, hey, we got to love our wives.
Mhm.
We got to cover our wives as the Lord cleansed and immersed us in his word and by his blood. So we got to cover them. And I want to go on and read a little bit more. Messiah did this so that he might present himself his glory to his glorious community, not having strain or wrinkle or in any such thing, but in order that she might be holy and blameless. In the same way, husbands ought to love their own wives. Their own wives. Not somebody else's wife.
Yeah, their own.
Your own wife. That's what the words say, as their own bodies, though. That's the thing. Love your own wife as your own body. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes it and cherishes it, just as Messiah also does his community, because we are members of his body. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. This mystery is great, but I'm talking about Messiah and his community. In any case, let each of you love his own wife as himself, and let the wife respect her husband. Ephesians 25:21-32. So
Yeah.
that right there is a synopsis of what God intended marriage to be. Husbands, love your wives. Wives, submit to your husbands and respect your husbands. But the first thing, husbands, love your wives. That's what we gotta do. And it starts there. So if you feel like your wife is disrespectful to you, or she don't honor you, you probably ain't loving her the right way. You probably loving her how you want to love her, not how she needs to be loved. Right? And so that word right there tells you, your wife ain't gotta love you. It don't say nowhere in this Bible, wives, love your husbands. It says respect your husbands.
Okay.
That's what it says. Respect. Because if you break it down, to us, all we want is our wife to respect us. We want respect as men.
Yeah.
Right? And we equate respect as love. On the flip side, women want us to love them because they equate love to respect. Because if we love them, we respect them.
Yeah.
Right? And if we do that the right way, they always gonna respect us.
I can agree with that.
You know, so husbands, make sure you somebody that your wife can submit to before you even say, oh, you need to submit to me. Be somebody that she can submit to.
You gotta model the right things.
Gotta model the right things, especially if you got kids.
Oh yeah, that's a big
Especially
one.
if you got kids. So, Coach, man, I appreciate you for sitting down with me on the podcast, the very first episode. Hey, here on Marriage Is, man, it's real conversation, real husbands, real marriage. That's how we do it. So, appreciate you for coming through.
I appreciate being here, man. Hope
Hey.
this kind of like put some little gasoline on the fire a little bit.
Yeah.
Take it up another couple of weeks, be 20 years. So
Yeah, that's it. That's
take
it.
it up a notch.
Well, congrats on the 20 years. Hey,
Appreciate
if you watching, you listening, like, share, subscribe to the page. But we appreciate you for sitting in and taking a listen to Marriage Is podcast. We hope it helps you. And until next time, I'll see you.